Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Thursday morning. It's now the 24th day of July, 2025. This is the morning briefing, and as I look out the window from the home weather office, there's a little breeze, nice delta breeze, another nice cool morning for this time of year. Blue sky and a couple of clouds. It's going to be an interesting day. The temperatures will once again be very comfortable, as much as 10 degrees below average for this time of year. But the main feature once again remains what may be happening tonight in the valley. We will see thunderstorms this afternoon develop along the crest of the Sierra. Nothing unusual about that. That happens all the time during the summertime. But tonight we may get some of that activity down into the west slope as well as down onto the valley floor. I showed you that yesterday. We may see that again today on the morning models. Let's start off with the satellite. Here's the few high clouds I can see from the home weather office. Of course, we also have a nice deep marine layer here. Extends all the way down into Southern California. A couple of other features I want to point out. This is the Butler fire, still putting out some smoke. As you can see, the green fire isn't putting out anything in the way of smoke. So fire is, we have minimal fire activity in the state right now, which is great. However, with more thunderstorms expected this afternoon, especially in areas like Plumas County and Lassen County and Modoc County, we may be seeing more starts, which is obviously what we don't want. That wouldn't, so that's one of the things we got to keep an eye on. Another thing that I was looking at was all this smoke over Utah and into parts of Colorado. And if you look down here, I hope this cooperates. This is, I forget the name of the fire. This is the one that's burning on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. So from the satellite, you can see the Grand Canyon right in here. And here's the fire that continues to burn on the north part of it. So sending smoke out over areas like Page and down around Horseshoe Bend and that sort of thing. But this has been an ongoing, rather big fire that took out the lodge there on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. If you've ever been there, it's a spectacular lodge, but the fire took that out last week. So anyway, so that's what's going on, and we're hoping we don't get more lightning strikes in California later on today that cause more fires. That's something we just don't need. But with this moisture coming up from the south, we are going to have the possibility of thunderstorms. The HRRR and the NAM high-resolution NAM have slightly different solutions, but there are enough similarities in them that, we'll just have to see how it goes. So this is this afternoon around 3 o'clock. Here are the showers and thunderstorms in parts of Plumas County, Lassen County, and farther to the north. Also a couple of bubbles around the Tahoe Basin. So Truckee into Reno and Portola. Areas around Gray Eagle. There I do think we will have some. This is around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then as we get past sunset, this is what I'm really looking at. So this is around 11 o'clock tonight. I know it doesn't look like much, but there would be lightning with this. So this would be elevated thunderstorms. And this is around the overnight hours. So this right now is around 2 o'clock in the morning and beyond, and then dissipating. This is around 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, all of that dissipating. And then tomorrow, on Friday, we would have thunderstorms again in the northern part of the state, in Plumas County, Lassen County, but then we would not have the possibility in the valley floor. However, there's a nighttime one that goes right over Tahoe. Again, these are really small features that the models, a high-resolution model like the HRRR can pick up on pretty well. However, because it is so small, it may be here, it may be here. You just don't know. So it's one of those things. Either way, if you're going to be out and about over the next couple of days in all the areas that I mentioned, you just have to keep your eye on the sky. Let me back up to this possibility of this activity over El Dorado County, Sacramento County, Placer County, maybe Nevada County, and into Yolo County as well. So that's how it looks on the reflectivity. This model, the HRRR, also has lightning density. And while this isn't, Florida sort of lightning, because they do this in flashes per square kilometer every 5 minutes. For us, we don't see the huge lightning displays, but you get one of these at night, and not only do you hear the thunder, but you can see quite a display. And this again is around midnight tonight. So I might be up rather late tonight. So, and if this is going on and I'm up late tonight, the morning briefing may be a little bit later tomorrow. So anyway, that's the concern here. And if I back up to the afternoon, you can see all the lightning again in areas that I was talking about in Plumas County. And but then again, this is the overnight activity that is possible in, as you can see, El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento County, those areas. So I'd even include Grass Valley, Nevada City, could see some of that. But certainly Auburn, Placerville, Pollock Pines, Roseville, all of those areas could see that. All right, let's see how the NAM nest shows this. Now, I'm going to show you that, I'll show you the NAM nest here in terms of its reflectivity. This shows more activity in the Tahoe Basin today. This is around close to sunset. A little bit of activity over the valley, and then another surge right here. This one is pretty close to Auburn and Roseville, Lincoln, and this is at 11 o'clock tonight. The NAM nest has had a better track record on these thunderstorms than the HRRR has recently. But as your financial advisor will tell you, past performance is no guarantee of future results. But either way, you can see how similar the models are in terms of this nighttime activity. And this continues up until the very early morning hours. Then on Friday afternoon, the activity stays more confined to the high country. We don't have the possibility over the valley floor. And then into the day Saturday, once again, more along 395 and to the east. But I'd even include the possibility, maybe something in the Tahoe Basin. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, it's really this right here. And again, that's 11 o'clock tonight, maybe midnight. We could be seeing a rather interesting light show. Once we get beyond that, well, our weather pattern still looks good. So for that, we'll show the GFS 500 millibar charts. Now, this little low meandering around, and it's helping to drag up some of that moisture, provide some instability to bring us those the possibility of those thunderstorms. But as long as we keep this troughiness around, it keeps the big high away. And while temperatures this weekend may get back up to around 90 or so, upper 80s to low 90s, for July, that's not bad. And even as we begin to round out the month, another little low comes by. This is next Thursday, so this is the last day of the month. So with this pattern holding for the next week, we're not going to hit 100 degrees for the rest of the month, and we'll barely make any 90s for the rest of the month. So as we start the month of August, yeah, the model still looks good. Oh, that would be a warmer day here. This would certainly be a warmer pattern. As I mentioned the other day, yeah, now the big high comes in, but now we're out to the 5th of August. So we're almost 2 weeks out, and we'll have to see how that plays out. We have seen in the past how the GFS will tease us with some big heat, a couple of, 10 days out, 12 days out, which is what it's doing now. But the last time that happened, and I remember I was talking about it here, the television stations, everybody was talking about, we're going to have some heat. It turned out we had one day over 100, that 102 that we had. And so we talked about some heat, maybe even borderline hyped the fact we're going to have some heat, and it didn't materialize. So when I show you that 500 millibar chart for 10, 12 days out, and it shows that we may have some heat, we'll see what happens. We'll see whether or not that materializes. But so far, so good with this summer. Like I said, we'll round out the rest of this month in really good fashion. Sure, we'll get some heat in August. It's pretty, a pretty sure thing that August is going to turn out to be warmer than this relatively cool July that we have seen. But like I said, we'll see what happens, 2 weeks out. In the meantime, just be prepared for the possibility of those thunderstorms in the areas that I mentioned tonight. We'll have them this afternoon in the Sierra, and then tonight we may get some of that rotating down into the valley. So we could see not only a light show, but also if we start getting thunder during the night, keep in mind for those of you that have pets that don't like thunder, just kind of, keep an eye on them and that sort of thing. But that's everything I've got for you today. It may be an interesting night, and if the morning update doesn't come for a while tomorrow morning, it's because I was up late tonight watching lightning. So make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.